Learning some things about AI here. First of all, yes, my glasses are broken. Second of all, that totally wrecked my train of thought. Uh, it's gone. Totally gone. AI thoughts, AI has something to do with AI. Drawing. Oh, time. How long does it take an AI to draw? That's not the question. How long does it take a human to draw something? Like a good artist? Like how, because you look at these image gen AI. So a couple things that I'm learning. First of all, when a master artists who can actually draw and 3D model and pose and they understand light and, color and whatever the fuck, when they use AI, it's incredible. Like when a master of that and AI uses AI because they are doing like a bajillion things. They're not just writing a prompt, right? They're writing layers of prompts and using multiple different models to do constant refinement, changing. They have control nets they're going in and they're painting in depths. They're generating intermediary 3D models and pose models, and they're controlling the AI at multiple different layers. They're using different LoRa's and adapters and modifiers for the model to get different looks at different layers for different characters for different aspects of the scene. It's fucking insane. It's exponentially or like tens of orders of magnitude more complex than what I'm doing or what your typical person is doing, and the difference is notable. Like they're generating quality artwork. It's art. It's real art what they're generating. That all said, with everything that they're doing, is it faster? The main point I wanted to ask with the speed is like how long does it take an AI artist to draw something and how long does it take a human? Just a basic cost basis analysis. Like not accounting for quality and things like that. Just at a basic level to produce artwork, what is the delta? Just like as a starting point, because first of all, the other second point I want to layer onto that is that is not everything. That is not even remotely everything. You know what I mean? But as a basis for comparison, starting point, what does that look like? How long does it take a good skilled artist to throw together a really cool action piece with like a super like a single frame in like a comic book basically, and then how long does it take the AI to generate the same with a prompt, considering time to generate the prompt, right, and tweak it, assuming you're a naive person like me and you're going to brute force it. You're just going to write a prompt and then just keep writing prompts until you get something close, and then you're going to say, all right, that's close enough, it looks nothing like what you initially envisioned, but it looks interesting, and then you're going to post it, right? How long does that take? How much of a deficit is there? You know what I mean? Can humans still work in that environment alone, right? But then let's add another layer to it, which is, okay, how much does it take to actually have control over the artwork and to be able to create something that's a little bit different than how you would draw it, or the way that you are envisioning it, but in a way where you can then control that. You have the control as the artist. An artist is capable of that. How long does it take them? Because I'm guaranteeing this, you guy, when he's this guy, what? I'm guaranteeing you that this guy that I'm following on YouTube, like the fucking UI dials and switches that he's spinning are fucking insane. The number of steps, it's thousands. You know what I mean? He's spending hours generating this image. It's something I'm noticing with software also. I'm able to spit out a lot of code really quickly. But if I actually want control over it, I then have to go through, review the code, iterate on it, iterate on different areas of the code, regenerate different areas of the code differently, put in, or possibly do broad-based rough-ins of the structure myself, and then have it fill in the details. No different than this artist going in and like painting in depth maps manually and some different like basic outlines, or doing a rough sketch as sort of the start for the image, right? They get a lot more control. Manually going in and editing the poses for like a posing system to help control that, right, as well. It's no different than that. I'm going in and I'm tuning it, and then reapplying the AI in certain areas to take out some of the tedious work and then modifying it. But I do have to still read what the AI did, understand it, and then be able to modify it again. When all that's considered, yes, it can spit out a bunch of code really fast, but by the time I've gone in and layered it, iterated on it, understood it, right, reworked it, and then reapplied it, regenerated, done all the research as well back and forth, I don't know that it's actually faster. That doesn't mean it's not advantageous. And it doesn't mean that it won't be faster in the long run. I think things will continue to improve. But I do think there's kind of a limit. And so with that in mind, like, are artists still artists in the age of AI? And I kind of think they are. Are software engineers still software engineers in the age of AI? I think they still are. What it does do is it gives you a little bit more flexibility. So in my case, ah, the software may diverge a little bit from the way that I intended it, but if I like it, I can run with it. And what I've done is essentially allowed the AI to inspire me based off of other code that it's sampled, right? And to make things a little bit different. There was use of this reactive web flux that I was implementing. And I had never really used syncs before. I've always used reactive web flux to consume. I've never pushed it out into an intermediary event stream. And so I was asking the AI to generate this intermediate event stream. Everything was reactor driven, and instead of the way that I would do that is maybe, like the blocking queue or something, it just pushed everything into Project Reactor, sync. And I was like, oh, I just wouldn't have never done that. I just whenever I've read the docs, it was looking for how to consume data. So I'd have to go back and read the docs and see that and be aware that I could actually apply it in that way. And I'm like, yeah, no, that works. That looks good. We'll just keep it that way. And so that's kind of the example of like an artist. They sketch it out, they have the AI generate it, and it produces something a little bit different. They're like, that actually works. I'm going to tweak this X, Y, and Z thing, but I actually like what that's done over here. And it actually gives more variation and more flexibility over the final product. But again, a good artist, just like a good engineer, still has control. I can still go in and back that off and say, no, you know what, make it a blocking queue, or whatever the fuck, right? So, and it also reduces some of the tedium. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're an artist, you might like to draw, but sometimes it's like you've drawn a bajillion hands, you've drawn a bajillion lizards, and you have to draw another one, and you're like, I'm just not in the fucking mood to draw lizards today. I'm sure that they get that way because as a software engineer, I get that way, right? Where it's like, I just don't want to build another controller right now. I don't want to write another fucking select by ID query right now. I just don't want to fucking do it. You know what I mean? So my brain's like, no, stop. You know what I mean? I'm done. And so that's an area where the AI can kind of take out some of that tedium and let you move on to the more higher level, creative tasks. So when it's like, I don't really need this to be any different, and it's going to be the same way every time, and the AI knows that and it's able to generate it, then it's like, yeah, I'm just going to let the AI do it, And again, I still have to go in and review it. I may still have to go in and tweak some things, but it eliminates some of the tedium. So even if it's not eliminating time, it helps eliminate some of the tedium, and again, it boosts your flexibility. So there's a little bit, so that the product can actually be a little bit more diverse, assuming you're pairing with the AI. If you're just using the AI exclusively, it won't be more diverse. But assuming you're pairing with the AI, it will be you plus the AI and some sort of intersection in between. It'll be more diverse, it'll be higher quality, and possibly alleviate some of the tedium so that you can actually retain some cognitive energy to devote to other tasks. I think that is still a huge benefit to our society, and it's still going to accelerate us, but it's not going to be quite the way that people think that it is going to be. Not if we are still retaining control, which we absolutely want to do for fulfillment reasons, and also just to produce, again, greater diversity. If you rely on the AI completely, you're going to get the average every time. If you want to push it to the edge, to the extreme, to the boundaries, to the margins, where the best stuff lies or the worst, then you have to add the human component to it. AI derives from human experience. We have to give it human experience and add our individuality to it to get something unique. Uniqueness is quality. If you want to really get to the extremes, to the upper echelons of awesomeness, then you have to integrate the human component. AI artists are still drawing a lot. And they probably still can draw and do draw just entire sketches by themselves. But AI offers them the opportunity to put out a lot more content a lot more quickly. Again, not because drawing individual drawings are faster, but because of the cognitive load that it reduces from the drawing process, and the elimination of tedium allows them to work more and put out more diverse and higher quality and more divergent output, right? That's why. it may also speed it up a little bit, but I think that's a little bit overstated in terms of how much time it's actually buying you when all things are considered. So, yeah.